And we're live. What's going on, guys? Happy week 2 Sunday is here. I don't know if I'm the only one. I feel like a child sometimes on Sundays because, like, as a 40-year-old man, this shouldn't happen. But, like, I can't sleep Saturday nights and Sunday mornings because, like, I'm so excited about the NFL, especially early in the year like this. Like, I was up at, like, 6:30 after going to bed at, like, 1 last night because I just so pumped to watch the NFL today.
So you like the NFL more than I do, and I still feel similar. So I get it.
Man, I bet you a bunch of dudes out there are just like us, though. Like, feel like children, like on the night before, like, especially week 1, like the night before Christmas, though, when you're just like, oh man, like, I got to set my lineups. I got, DraftKings and
Yes.
overlay and stuff like that. Like, I got to get up. I got to get to work. I got coffee to drink and lineups to set.
Yeah, it's like, especially for DFS players, it's like you said, the first day of Christmas. Not the first day of Christmas, Christmas.
Absolutely, guys. All right, man. So we are here to break down the overlay plays of the day for the progressive jackpot. I hit up some plays of the day last night. One of the reasons I was up late because I don't have much of a life and I'm just making sports videos all day long. Rolling pretty nicely on the matchup shop since that thing opened up. So check that bad boy out. Also, if you've considered playing on overlay, obviously we've been talking about it for over a year now, and you haven't pulled the trigger yet. If you want to try that out today, go make a profile, make your initial deposit, take a screenshot, send it to me, and I can get you a free membership to the DFS 5-pack. Now, your membership length will equate to what you put in there. A $50 deposit's 2 weeks. A $100 deposit would be a month. A $500 deposit's a free year. So, I mean, that's a great deal. Instead of spending $200, spend $500 there, double it, and actually make yourself $500 for a free membership, or a $1,000 membership deposit would be a free lifetime membership. Just got to screenshot the deposit, send it to me, and you actually have to play the money and be a new player.
Mm-hmm. You got a little tongue twisted there.
A little bit. All right, man. So again, the matchup shop discussed last night. There's a couple of individual matchups I really like today. They're not all up on the progressive tournament side of things, but that's what we're here to break down. Talking about these $2.5 and $22. The $22 one's got a 180 prize for top 10% finishers, an 11,000 plus jackpot for anybody gets a perfect 12-0 record. Not easy to do, but we're here to do our best to try and help. And the $2.5 one's got an $18 top 10% and close to $2,000 jackpot if you're able to finish in the top or able to go 12-0.
I will be in that big 22 today, so come and join me. I'm excited to try to take it down, and if nothing else, at least try to get into that top 10%.
Right, and nothing wrong with 180 off of $22. All right, this is take 2 of this video as my internet crapped out, stupid technology. We were really only into the second pick when it did that. So we've discussed Lamar and Patrick Mahomes. We discussed it on the video earlier this week. Sounds like neither of us changed our minds. It's Lamar Jackson. Look, nobody likes to pick up against the real-life best quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. But Lamar Jackson is a better fantasy quarterback. And I mean, you can't really stop that. For the last year, he has been, and it looks like that's who he is. So we both side with Lamar, and we both agree we don't love picking against Patrick Mahomes, but you got to pick somebody. So we'll go with the reigning MVP.
I feel like if it was needed, Mahomes could be every bit of as good of a fantasy quarterback as Lamar, but it's not.
He's less willing to run.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm with you. I'll take Lamar, but not excited about it. I like Mahomes today, and I don't like picking against him.
This is the equivalent of if you're playing in a baseball DFS thing, you got Garrett Cole against the Detroit Tigers or Max Scherzer against, whatever, the San Diego Padres. Like, you're not excited to pick against Max Scherzer, but the better move on paper. But at the end of the day, Mahomes can do anything he wants.
Truth.
All right, man. Aaron Rodgers versus Dak Prescott. This is, where we kind of left off last time. I think Dak's your cash game guy, and Rodgers is an excellent GPP pivot. So gun to head, I'm going to go with Dak right here. But much like the first one, I'm not very excited about it. And watching my boy Rodgers last week, I am excited about him. And they front run really well when playing in Lambeau Field. So I'll pick Dak, but this is going to be at the bottom for me.
I'm going to take Rodgers. It'll be at the bottom for me, but I'm planting my flag today. I'm not fading this game. I'll use bits and pieces, but I'm not going to go hard on it. So even on overlay, I'm going to choose a guy that I think is going to get a lot more people are going to pick Prescott than Rodgers. And I think they're very close to it. So I'm going to go Rodgers.
I got you, man. I don't mind hearing that in the slightest. We know how good Aaron Rodgers is based on last week. And he was great. Part of it's bad Minnesota, but he was excellent last week. So I'm a Packers fan. I'm super excited.
Pretty sure it was the same spot last week where he was going up against Carson Wentz, and a lot of people picked Wentz.
Yes. All right. Josh Allen versus Matt Ryan. Another one. Oh, I have very little desire to pick this one because I like both of these guys. I think Josh Allen's the slightly better fantasy quarterback because of the rushing, but I love the spot for Matt Ryan. So I'm going to default to Matt Ryan in a game where I think he needs to throw more because I just don't trust Miami to put up any points at this point. So give me Matt Ryan, but I don't like picking against a guy who's, rushing in TDs left and right.
Give me Josh Allen. Can't believe I'm saying it, but give me Josh Allen here. I just got a bad feeling about that Dallas-Atlanta game letting down. We know Allen will run. Don't need massive upside. Give me Allen here. And another one that I think the masses are going to go Matt Ryan.
Oh, the masses are all over Atlanta and Dallas, which makes a lot of sense. I'll have a lot of exposure to it along with a lot of the industry. But, it's hard to pick against a guy who Lamar Jackson's the best rushing quarterback, but Josh Allen is the guy that if he has double-digit rushing touchdowns at the end of the year, are you surprised by that?
Yeah, Allen has a lot of Ben Roethlisberger in him in terms of how big and how he can move around, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe not the accuracy, but a better running quarterback, right?
Yes, agree.
Okay, Tom Brady versus Ben Roethlisberger. Speaking of Big Ben, I know these are two guys that you're a little hard for this week on GPPs, so who are you going with right here?
I won't choose this one. If I had to, I'm going to go Brady, though.
Going to go Brady. Carolina's defense is all types of terrible. I will also go Tom Brady, but it's a tough decision. These ones up top here are real tough today.
Yep.
All right, after that, Deshaun Watson versus Matt Stafford. I'm going to pick Watson due to some junk time points that he gets with his legs to slightly beat out Matt Stafford in a game where he should be trailing as well.
Give me Watson here easy. I actually think Watson could have a big day in garbage time. He has these games where he puts up monster numbers. I don't like much of Stafford here. Just give me Watson as one of my favorites on the board.
Yeah, Stafford doesn't have Galladay today, which is his best weapon. Doesn't help him at all.
Nah.
All right, man. Kyler Murray versus Carson Wentz. Give me Kyler Murray. Unimpressive Philadelphia offense last week. Now they get their boy Sanders back, but give me Kyler Murray. I know he's getting a lot of love today. I don't love the matchup with Washington personally. I have a lot of respect for their front, but I'll definitely take Murray here.
I think this is another one where everyone takes Murray, and not that I like Wentz, but I'm not excited about it. So I'll go Murray, but again, I'm not excited about it.
All right, Tannehill versus Kirk Cousins. Give me Kirk Cousins. I'm not sure Tannehill has to throw it at all today. At home against Jacksonville, it's going to be a monster Derrick Henry day, according to most people. Without his number one big play threat, I'm just less worried about him having a monster day. So I'll definitely take Kirk Cousins here.
Man, you'll definitely take Kirk Cousins.
Cousins is going to have to throw. I think Tannehill, I would not be surprised if he has under 15 pass attempts today.
Okay, I'll take Cousins.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's not that I don't think Kirk Cousins has a monster day or anything like that, but with Minnesota's defense taking a step back, he's going to have to sling it a little bit unless Dalvin Cook is absolutely amazing. No A.J. Brown, that hurts Tannehill.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Speaking of that game, Rivers versus Daniel Jones. This is one I actually like. I'll take Phillip Rivers.
I know you love Rivers here. You like the quarterbacks in this game, so it makes sense. I'll take Rivers as well with you.
All right. Daniel Jones versus Jared Goff. Can I picture? Yeah, I can. This is not one that I like because I don't love the spot for Daniel Jones, but he's out there slinging it. They can't run the ball because their offensive line is that terrible. So he's got opportunities. I don't love Jared Goff today either. I guess I'll go Goff, but it's a tough one.
I'm going to go Goff. If anything, I like Saquon today. I'm with you. Jones is more of the gunslinger, but I respect Chicago's D more than Philly's D, and I respect Goff more than Jones. So pretty easy.
Fair enough. I don't think it's as easy as you do, but I do agree with you. So we end on the same spot, which is all that matters.
I do think that Jones, Jones's upside is of a much better fantasy quarterback than Goff. I'll say that.
Yeah, he got the legs and everything like that. He's got a little bit of that Jameis in him where he will just throw it up and, that can lead to big yardage. And there's going to be a few picks.
Yeah, I don't feel like Goff is a particularly great fantasy quarterback. He's just solid,
Definitely. All right, Minshew versus Bridgewater. I'm going to go with Bridgewater. We talked about how a great job Tampa Bay does against Christian McCaffrey, which leads me to believe that they're going to have to throw it a little bit.
Okay.
And if you like Brady Day, you have to assume that they got to sling it a little bit.
True, but on the other hand, like I feel like Tennessee will be up and they'll be having to sling it. I just don't trust Jacksonville at all. So I'm with you. Give me Bridgewater.
Plus, I feel like Jacksonville might have some long, boring drives that just keeps Minshew off the field.
I'm with you.
All right, Trubisky versus Drew Lock. This one's easy for me. I ain't picking anybody against Pittsburgh's defense until they give me reason to think otherwise. I was not dissatisfied with Drew Lock on Monday night, but I was extremely terrified of the Pittsburgh defense, and I'm not even playing. So I'll take Mitch Trubisky here.
Yeah, this is my top one on the board.
Yeah.
Give me Trubisky. I mean, it's my favorite one on the board.
That Pittsburgh defense is legit. Man, they get after you.
There's one other I like a lot, but this one is my top on the board.
All right, man. Tyrod versus Fitzpatrick. What do you got here?
I don't like this one. I'll take Fitzpatrick. I do want to go back a second on Trubisky and Locke and why. I feel like we talked about this when we made the first video, but it's important to bring up. Like, I love that one, but the reason that these are difficult is like, you know, what happens if Montgomery runs 2 in and then Pittsburgh just rolls on Denver and they're throwing in all second half? You know, that's how Locke could beat Trubisky. I'm not going to pick it, but that's why all these are tough.
Yeah, these are really, really tough, no doubt about it. All right, Tyrod versus Fitzpatrick. You got Fitzpatrick. I'll go contrarian with you and pick Tyrod, but this one's at the bottom of my list. I don't like either of these guys today, so it's like who gets 8 points and who gets 7.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pick it, to be honest.
Yeah. Speaking of ones I don't want to pick, Sam Darnold versus Haskins. Speaking of guys who are very likely going to have low scores today, I know you're a fan of the Arizona defense, so you probably don't love Haskins, but there's not a lot to like with Sam Darnold either, who has just no weapons to throw to.
Give me Haskins here. I'm starting to think that Arizona's getting a little bit overrated based on what they did last week.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you. I was also going to pick Haskins. Big bounce back spot for San Fran.
I respect Arizona's, like, I liked Arizona's defense this week because I think Washington, you know, as a quarterback that can turn it over. But, I mean, San Fran's D is definitely better.
No doubt about it. All right. No, Saquon versus Zeke. I mean, give me Zeke. I don't like picking against Saquon, but the spot for Zeke is pristine. Atlanta's defense is.
I have interest in Saquon in tournaments and on pay sites at like way low ownership, but not really here. So give me Zeke.
All right. Devontae Adams versus DeAndre Hopkins. 2 guys that are absolute target monsters week 1. I'm going to pick my boy Adams, though. Quite frankly, Washington's defense and their front is just better than Detroit's. And, you know, these 2 guys are both really good, but one guy is Aaron Rodgers and one guy is Kyler Murray. Murray might be a good fantasy quarterback, but he's still not quite the thrower of the football. And Adams and Rodgers have been doing this for a while. And I don't think that he's going to have as many targets today, Hopkins.
I agree. I think Adams is just this solid guy here. I don't want to pick against Hopkins, really, but I'm with you.
Yeah, so last week they just flat out weren't going to go after Richard Sherman, which is part of the reason Hopkins had all the targets. Like, Rodgers just has tunnel vision on Adams, so it's every week is his week.
One thing that we don't talk about, don't talk about that much when we do these, and why I often play like the bigger contests in these, is that there's so many choices to choose from. Well, a lot of times when we do those NBA and MLB ones, you almost have to choose them all. Not today.
Yeah, I know you like that better. It makes a lot of sense.
For sure.
Derrick Henry versus Dalvin Cook. I'll take Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Henry's just the easy call here. I'm with you.
Yeah, Henry doesn't mean he will, but he is set up to have a monster day.
Yeah, I think it's more like that Cook could have a monster day too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Dalvin Cook's really good in his own right.
Yes. That's why it's like, oh, we like Henry here, but it's like Dalvin Cook's still really freaking good.
All right, Julio versus Tyreek Hill. Give me Julio. This is just a game more likely to need offense. Both guys are extremely big play capable, so, I mean, I don't like betting against Hill, but you got to pick some guys, so I'm going to pick Julio.
I'm going to continue on my theme of not picking this game and go Tyreek Hill.
All right, Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus Aaron Jones. Look, you guys all know that my feelings for Aaron Jones in fantasy this year are way down. I think he's kind of an intriguing, like, GPP flyer in a game that should definitely have some points where he could hawk some touchdowns. But I'm going to go with Clyde the Glide right here. Quite frankly, I trust him to have 10 more touches.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm intrigued by Jones too, but CEH seems like the logical pick.
Okay, I'm intrigued by Jones at like low ownership for an offense that should have points, but like I trust Edwards-Helaire to like legitimately have a lot more touches for a better offense. GB's offense looked great last week, but we know who the top offense in football is.
Agreed.
All right, Adam Thielen versus Travis Kelce. Give me Thielen. More needed for his team. Kansas City's got an arsenal of weapons. Minnesota has Thielen and Cook.
Minnesota has Thielen and Cook. Oh, I know. I do not like picking this one. I'm not going to pick this one. I'll just say that.
All right. Calvin Ridley versus Cooper Kupp. Calvin Ridley.
Cooper Kupp.
You are straight up full contrarian today, aren't you?
Yep.
Classic Bellman. I like it. All right.
Yeah,
JuJu Smith-Schuster.
Expect anything else?
No, I wouldn't. JuJu versus Stephon Diggs. I don't like picking against Diggs right here. He had a clear connection, but JuJu is the pick right here, in my opinion.
Yeah, JuJu's definitely the pick for me. Top 5 pick for me, probably.
Okay. I like the next one too, although I think we'll disagree on a little bit. Give me Mostert in a game where they should run the ball a lot.
I like both guys, so I won't choose it.
All right. Allen Robinson versus Robert Woods. Again, not one I'm excited to pick against, but give me Robert Woods. You guys know I'm a big Bob Woods fan.
This is another one where I like both, and I'm like not really intrigued by picking it. I'll go Woods because you've talked me onto him this week, but I also think Allen Robinson could have a big week. The Giants don't really have anyone that can stop him, and after all the trade talk, etc., I could see him having a good week here.
I think part of my love for Robert Woods is I heard somebody else refer to him as Bob Woods, and now I can't get that out of my head.
I know you've loved that. I've noticed all week.
All right. Amari Cooper versus Mike Evans. I think we'll disagree again on this one. I'll take the big game from Cooper. And I know you love Evans, so I think you're going to go contrarian again.
I will. I love Evans today. So this is not even just about being contrarian. I also think Cooper's, probably the top cash game play on the board. And I will have a little exposure here. I think it's silly not to. But give me Evans, man. I think Evans, if I had to pick one guy who's going to be the number one receiver today, it's Mike Evans.
You love Evans today. I am. That is just one we don't.
They talked me onto him, too.
I was?
Yeah, when we first made our video, like one of the first videos we made this week, you barely touched on him, but you hate Mike Evans usually. And I could tell you were like, I think Mike Evans could have a big game this week. That's all you said, and that really stuck with me.
Well, no Chris Godwin. I think it's more of a Ronald Jones, Scotty Miller day, but have at it, Hoss. I mean, it's Mike Evans. He's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, DJ Moore versus Will Fuller. This is the one I am not excited to pick because I think we view Houston a little bit differently today. You think that they're going to be able to move the ball a little bit against Baltimore. I'm a little worried about them. I assume that they're going to have to throw it a little bit more than normal with Carolina. So I'm going to pick DJ Moore, but Will Fuller is going to be a target monster, so I don't like this one.
Yeah, I don't like this one either. Like, in a weird way, I trust Will Fuller more, but I don't really want to pick against DJ Moore, so I'm not going to choose it. If I had to, I'd choose Fuller, though.
All right. Andrews against Marquise Brown. Brown gets one touch today. Andrews sticks with one touch. Brown gets a few more yards on a big play. Give me Marquise Brown by an eyelash, but another one that I have. It'll be at the bottom of my list if it makes it.
Give me Brown also, but I don't love it.
He's hitting a big one today. That's my theory. All right. Gurley versus Drake. I'm taking Gurley. I think Gurley's going to score twice today.
Taking Drake. I like Drake today. I think that he's my favorite piece of Arizona.
All right. Scary Terry versus Marvin Jones. I'm going to take Terry McLaurin on this one. I think Jones is going to get the Jair Alexander treatment, and it's not going to go well for him.
Jones saw a lot of work last week. I think McLaurin's definitely the better receiver. I mean, I don't even think that's close. But one has Matthew Stafford throwing him the ball, so I'm going to go Jones.
John Brown versus David Johnson. I would love to know before picking this one if Duke Johnson was playing for all the reasons that we talked about. You have to assume that Baltimore's up. Doesn't mean they will be, but I think you have to go into the game assuming that. And if Duke Johnson is out, then David Johnson gets very likely several more catches in the passing game. So I'm going to stick with David Johnson, but I would be significantly more confident in it if I knew Duke Johnson was out.
This is my number 2 on the board. Give me David Johnson here. I just don't think that this is. I think a lot of other ones are way closer than this one. I mean, Brown could beat him, sure, but I think the Buffalo-Miami game plays was kind of slow. And Johnson's like a feature of this Houston offense. He's like the guy there. John Brown is a nice player, but they got a few nice players in Buffalo.
We'll agree, though, that if Duke Johnson was out, it becomes even easier pick, in my opinion. Like, might be my number 1 if I knew Duke Johnson was out.
Sure, I'm with you.
All right, T.Y. versus Zach Ertz. I don't like to pick against Ertz, but I like T.Y. today. He's way too fast for the Minnesota corners.
I am with you. Give me T.Y. here.
All right, Keenan Allen versus David Montgomery. I got Montgomery as a bit of a sleeper today against a bad Giants team. He was running the ball decently last week and then had to lose a good portion of his touches later in the game as Chicago got way behind and Trubisky had a nice comeback. But I know they want to give the ball to Montgomery. So in a game that they should be even or winning, I think he gets a bunch of touches.
Yeah, I'll take Montgomery also. I don't hate your sleeper call here. And there's another Ivan sleeper that we're about to get to.
All right, Evan Ingram versus Sterling Shepard. Give me Sterling Shepard.
Give me Sterling Shepard also.
Evan Ingram to me isn't a big show me year. I know, like, this is a guy that I feel like I've wasted fantasy picks on the last couple of years, and he's either hurt or unproductive. You got to show me something.
I'm with you.
All right, Mark Ingram versus Melvin Gordon. I'm assuming you're picking Gordon.
I'm picking Ingram.
Okay.
He's my sleeper here. I don't love him, but I think that he's gotten forgotten about, and Gordon seems like the easy pick here because no Phillip Lindsay. I kind of agree with you though. I don't want anything to do with the Denver offense. I think that Gordon could catch some balls, but I think Ingram could score twice today.
So Dobbins got the 2 touches last week, but he wasn't overly effective with the ball. So we just saw Clyde run all over this Houston defense. And part of that is because they sit back and, you just can't tempt fate with, like Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes and whatnot. But you can't really tempt fate with Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown either. So I could see them running all over them. And if it's going to be a timeshare at running back, it might not be a bad idea to get Ingram into the pay dirt today. So I kind of like it.
Yeah. So at least here, I like you choosing Ingram here, even if I'm not trying to use him on pay sites,
I guess the question for me with Melvin Gordon is once they get behind, because I think we both inevitably feel that Pittsburgh should win this game fairly easily. Does he stick in and block? Is he running patterns? Do they go to Royce Freeman just because it's a good opportunity to get some touches for him?
I was literally thinking about Royce Freeman. I mean, I just can't imagine if the game plays out where Pittsburgh's up big that they're really just running about. I don't know. I could definitely see Freeman getting some work today, for sure.
I mean, we just saw Saquon, who's better than Melvin Gordon by a distant margin. And yeah, Denver's offensive line is better by the Giants, but Saquon was getting hit in the backfield on average over a yard into the backfield last week. Literally getting hit on average over a yard in the backfield. That's a good Pittsburgh defense.
It is very good.
So, all right, guys, that's what we got for this one today. Don't forget about the deposits that we can hook you up with, or the memberships we'll hook you up with based on those deposits for brand new overlay players today. Screenshot it and send it to me. We'd love to have you come join the team on a permanent or temporary basis. And best of luck to everybody today.
Thanks, guys.